And by the time you see this, the official video would have been launched, Feel the Love by the Freetown Collective. We are speaking with frontline member and artist Mohammed Muwakil. Good evening, sir, and a blessed Republic Day to you.
Good evening and a blessed Republic Day to you and the nation at large.
Why this gift on Republic Day?
Sorry, I missed the first part of what you said.
Why decide to say this is the day or this is the time, this is the date that we're going to be releasing this video?
Oh, well, it's kind of serendipitous, which we put into the plan. So had everything gone the way we planned, it might have been released a long time ago. But, you know, it worked out really, really well that today was that day. And I feel as though it's a gift, not just to Trinidad, but to the Caribbean and the diaspora, because we haven't been able to have our carnival. We haven't been able to have our temple of the streets. We haven't been able to have that cleansing festival. And this is a memory of that. We've managed to capture the feeling of it. And it's a joy for me to be able to give this as a gift to the nation, the Caribbean and the diaspora.
Now, one knock against the music that we call soca that some people have is that it is too seasonal. We don't feel this with this song. Was that a conscious effort? Was it just something that you pulled out of the air going forward and saying, okay, well, this is what I've been given and I'm going to put it on paper? Take me through that process.
I would like to think that as an artist, I try to make everything I do as timeless as possible. I want someone to be able to find my work 10,000 years from now. And because the work speaks specifically to the human experience and not to the human experience of a specific time, that it can still affect people. People will still have something to hold on to that if they need to. And so that's the process for all of our work in terms of Freetown. So entering into soca, the process is no different for us. It's absolutely no different. We're not trying to specifically describe the feeling during a festival or anything like that. We look at the festival and we see the greater resonance for what mankind goes through as a whole and what mankind has gone through from the very beginning of time. And we write from that place. So it's only natural that it would not feel that way.
I know. Moving forward, because Republic Day, and we want to ask the significance of Republic Day to you specifically.
I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I feel my ancestors fight within me. I feel what I have inherited. I know I am a link in a chain, and my job is to be the strongest link so that the chain doesn't break as it goes forward. Republic Day is another victory in a long, long line of victories that stems from the Haitian Revolution come forward, where we said at that point in time, we no longer want any ties officially to our colonizers. That is a very, very, very important moment in the history of our country, because now you truly have the ability to begin to make your own laws and your rules, and self-determination kind of, doesn't begin there, but it is a very large step towards self-determination. So that's what this day is about for me, and that's what I celebrate today.
And is there any way that you take that energy and you carry it into your day-to-day activities? And I ask that in the context of seeing you do a live on IG. I'm on IG because of you and the rest of the collective, but you did one for Independence Day. And you just like sharing that energy and sharing that love. So how do you carry that outside of Independence Day, Republic Day?
You have to understand that life is a gift. The freedom we've been given is a gift. In the song Feel the Love, it says, people live 1,000 lives and they never feel this free. And for us, that has great resonance because thousands of our ancestors lived and never felt this freedom that we feel. So when you understand that and you internalize that, you know that every single day you have to do something to add to it. You know what I mean? You can't just live and bask in it, which you can, at times, you enjoy it, but you enjoy it with a sense of responsibility. It's not just something that you're given and you're entitled to. There's still many people alive in the world today who don't have what we have. And so remembering to be grateful as much as possible is really important. And that's how you live every day. With that sense of freedom.
Now, I've heard you describe freedom as many things. I heard you say gift, responsibility. Do you also consider it a choice and a decision?
Consider what a choice?
Freedom. Do you no, not a threat, but a choice. So to be free is a choice.
That's a
I
really
know I'm
interesting
asking you.
No, it's an interesting question. You may be granted certain freedoms, but true freedom comes from finding your purpose and living within that purpose. And sometimes you do find your purpose and you choose not to live in it. Or you see a road that could lead you to your purpose and you choose a road of ease that leads you away from it. So true freedom, in a sense, yeah, it is a choice, because at some point you're probably going to have to move away from a lot of the things you've been taught to actually be free. You know, freedom doesn't simply mean that there's not someone over you with a belt or a whip pushing you in a direction. But freedom is to take charge of the life, the spirit that you've been given, and to move that in a direction that benefits not only you, but everyone else on the planet.
And I think this is a perfect time to send some blessings and some love to Granny, because because your answer kind of makes me think, it resonates with me, and it makes me think of Lightman. And
yes,
I don't know if you feel that as well, but how has that process been from Lightman to feel the love? At least in your mind, because I'm not asking for anybody else, but just from your perspective.
Yeah, for me, so those who don't know, Lightman is one of Freetown's earlier songs. When we were still in the vein of writing songs like Lightman, there were certain things that we were working out, you know. So in Lightman, it says, we draw into our clothes, I ain't make no money. My grandmother watching me kind of funny. She said, I know it's music you like, but son, we have groceries to buy. And at that point in time, there were still certain concerns regarding finances and stuff, which is not to say that those concerns don't exist, but they're in a much different space simply because of how I think about them and how I see my own self. You know what I mean? So from Lightman to Feel the Love is just really a journey of self-acceptance. You know, it really isn't that, I shouldn't say circumstances haven't changed drastically, they have. But circumstances can change outwardly in a drastic manner, but you can still feel the same way. And I would say that circumstances inwardly have changed in a drastic fashion. And that's the difference between a song like Man and a song like Feel the Love, coming from a different place.
And we are going to come back possibly to this place in just a bit. We're speaking with Muwakil. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are speaking with Muwakil of Freetown Collective. And make out scene time in terms of me. Yes, man, we must always have a little bit. It's good for the soul, this kind of clearing. But one of the things, the Book of Five Rings talks about contemplating your physical transition. And being not too far from it, you're able to live in that moment and sometimes even function through that fear. Now, one of the things that I will say is that there is a song that I wanted played at my funeral, and it was, I Think, Therefore I Am.
Wow.
And let me know where you were at that point in time. What was going through your mind when you penned that song?
Well, you going so far back, I'm sure the majority of people who listen, even if they know Freetown, they have no idea what you're talking about.
It was good times then, good times.
I was a part of a movement called Washington, and there was a song called I Think Therefore I Am, or Therefore I Am. And it said, I'm a man, but I don't want to be no ordinary man. I think therefore I am. That's where I was at that point in time. I was trying to manifest. I was trying to come forward. I wanted to sing, but I didn't think I could sing. I was going through it, you know, forming myself. I was in my early 20s and really trying to find my stride. Who was I at that point in time? What did I want to become, and how could I reconcile the two, where I was and where I would end up, you know? So, man, we're a long way from that.
And what are some of the most striking changes to you?
My view of God, my view of religion, the ideas of exactly what I am and what I've been sent here to do, my view of my parents, and even family in certain type of ways. Uh, my view of humanity and what humanity actually is. A lot of that has changed. A lot of those particular things, because over the years, these are the things that I've been contemplating, and I would dare say we, in terms of Freetown Collective, have been contemplating continuously. I always tell people, I've had a 12-year conversation with Mr. Lou Lyons, and these are the things that we've been contemplating for the last decade plus of our lives.
Has anything remained? Because you said many things have changed. Has anything stood resolute?
Yeah, of course. We got to get free. We have to get free. And the journey to understanding what that means has been what Freetown is now and continues to evolve into. So that feeling of wanting to be free, even when I didn't know what that meant, that has remained the same, of not wanting to be tied down by anything, any idea or any system, or anything like that. That has remained the same. What does it mean to be free and to seek that constantly, And that also, that desire to be near to God. What that means. What is God? What does it mean to be near to God? What does it mean to do that work? Those things have remained the same. They haven't changed. Those desires, the means towards them, and the definitions of those things have altered themselves slightly, but the desires themselves have not changed.
I like the fact that you bring up the topic in interacting with the system, one, and using different means. Because you're not just the person with most energy on the stage, jumping, trying to levitate. I don't know, sometimes the free look as though you're trying to get free of gravity as well. But as opposed to just being on stage, there are other things that you are involved in. What are some of those other ways that you interact with the system?
Freetown does a lot of social work. So we go into communities, we go into schools, we've hosted school tours and workshops. A lot of it has to do with self-actualization. And one of the things that we've come to, and that kind of underscores a lot of our efforts now, is people can't self-actualize if they're in survival mode. So a large part of it now, we realize within the communities, if we're not talking economics, then we're not really speaking about anything. I was about to say something, let me not say that. But the susu and stuff that we see now are people's attempts at coming out of survival mode in order to self-actualize, right? So we've done a lot of work in schools, a lot of work in communities, and that kind of stuff. If there is a cause that we feel we should stand with, whether it was the Black Lives Matter protest most recently, and what's been going on in the communities regarding the killing of the three brothers from Mova, and the killing of the sister from Beetham, which are still unresolved as of today. We stand with these causes, and we do our best to put our entire lives, ourselves, in a position to assist and to bring justice wherever justice is needed or necessary.
So in terms of trying to move upwards on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, do you feel a little more responsible, or do you feel a little more weight of responsibility representing and using your platform and giving voice to people who may not have as much voice, even though we're in a system and an age now where there are many more content creators and videos going viral and stuff, but do you feel a little more as though you have some skin in the game and you need to be a part of this moving in a direction that you want it to go, or you think that it should?
Yeah, I mean, if we complete our entire life here, and if our career itself is moving towards creating successful Black businesses and businessmen and women around us, creating avenues for young Black men and women, for Black men and women on the whole, to become wealthy and to have generational wealth, I can now filter into the community where their ideas can now be actualized and realized, and they can feel as though life is more than just existing within the system. Then singing about these things, it may spark the idea, and I'm not discounting the art in any way because that's who we are. But if we have the opportunity to move simply beyond trying to inspire people to do it, but actually now giving them the avenues and the wherewithal to actually move in the direction that they want to, that's where we want to. That's where we want to.
And one of the reasons I ask is because I see you speaking about the fact that there are so many individuals that we may pass just see their faces as we pass in the street, even less so seeing faces because of the masks. But their stories we may never know, and you may never know that this is the burden that this person is bearing. And specifically, I am citing you on Jump TT that just featured on the film festival.
Sorry, I missed the question.
So in terms,
the first thing you said.
So what do you look for in terms of saying, okay, well, I'm going to do work with this person? You spoke about the 3 brothers from Mova, the 1 young lady from Beetham, and I see that you were part of Blackout with Couture. What do you look for when you say, okay, well, I'm going to do work with this person, I'm going to let our energies join?
Energy. When you see someone wanting something for themselves, like really wanting it, and not just sitting down and saying, I want this, but moving forward towards that thing with energy and verve and putting their lives on the line. Because as Freetown, Lou and I, we left what could have been very successful careers in other fields and decided that this is what we were going to do. We were going to put our destinies together and move together as brothers and do this. So when we look out and we see other people who are willing to make the same sacrifice, that is one of the main things, you know, to see, yeah, you really serious about what you want to do. So therefore, if I can, I will help you to move to the next level if I'm able to. Or at the very least, I will give you some advice. You know what I mean? That's one of the main things we look for. People who really are hungry for it, people who want it.
So we want to thank you for sharing that energy and the love, looking forward to being able to see the official video. Mohammed Muwakil, feeling the love and sharing that love on this Republic Day. We want to thank you on behalf of our entire news team. I'm DK Roster. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.